Hey guys, hope you guys are well. So over the past several months, I've been building a couple of EA robots, and I've recently, over the past week, I've built a liquidity sweep robot, which is it's actually a really cool robot, and it's based upon the way that I like to trade the markets. And I've been building robots, several ones, divergence ones, parabolic SAR, moving average crossovers. But as I said, over the last week, I've built this liquidity sweep one, and I want to show you guys visually how it works and how it actually trades. The risk, the strategy itself, the trailing stop, the take profit levels, all the indicators and stuff. Well, there's two indicators it uses. I just want to show you how it actually works. It's pretty easy nowadays to code your own robots, with ChatGPT and these sorts of things. Because if you really think about it, the big reason why retail traders fail is because they don't follow their strategy properly, and they also don't follow their risk management and all of that properly. Now, if we go to the inputs of this robot here, you can see it uses a pivot length for, and it plots high and low levels. So this is what I'm using for the liquidity levels. It's got a breakout mode as well, so it can also trade breakouts based on those liquidity levels. It's got an inverse breakout, which is basically I'm using for the liquidity sweep. So it's got basically that you can also call this a liquidity sweep entry function. It also has a limit entry, so limit order entry if you want to use that, and it works off the retracement of the trigger candle. So you can set a 50% retracement. At the moment, this has got a 30% retracement on that candle. It's got a pending expiry candles on that limit order. So it uses the parabolic SAR for the entry. It's got days of the week that it trades. Obviously, I'm using it on gold at the moment for back testing, so we're going to exclude Sunday. My trading session runs into Saturday a bit, so I've got that set on true. I have built in, I'm going to add a timer into this if I really need it. It's got take profit, it's got risk reward options, it's got trailing stop options, which I'm using, trailing step, all these trailing stop, quite an advanced trailing stop. It's got a max spread, max slippage, so it's got all these safety features built in. Now I'm going to take you over and show you. We'll run a quick back test over from the beginning of February till today, basically. I'll just show you what the backtest report shows without running the visual mode. So you can see with the starting balance of $1,000, you can see the equity goes up to, I think, 1,700 or 1,600. So that's a 70% gain or so in the last couple of months. So if we look at the backtest report, we can see it's taken it 1,000 to 1,657, profit factor of 3.89 based on these settings. Average loss is $45. Largest loss, sorry, average loss is $25. Average win is $55. Largest profit trade was $180. It's got a maximal drawdown of 7%, okay, which is pretty good. Okay, so these are the basic numbers on the back test. I'm just going to show you the actual strategy on the visual mode. So we'll run a visual mode back test. Just going to change the settings here quickly. We want to show the period separators. We want to remove the grid. Okay, so this is what the strategy. Just going to show you quickly as we speed up here. It plots a liquidity level at the top and a liquidity level at the bottom. And it trades. It can either trade breakouts of those levels, or it'll trade reversals on those levels. So you'll see now that it plots a liquidity level here at the bottom. So that's the first liquidity level that it has based on the past. I think it's set on 30 candles. As you can see, it's got a liquidity level at the top. These are basically just pivot levels. So it'll look back on the past, say 30 candles based on this setting, and plot a high and a low. Now, as you can see, these are liquidity levels. I'm just going to take you to, just going to speed it up quickly and just take you to a really good trade that it took on the 17th of February. If we look at the equity, you can see that the equity drops first, but then it starts to climb. Okay guys, so as you can see at the moment, it's plotted a liquidity level at the bottom, this red line, and a liquidity level at the bottom. Now price has broken below the liquidity level. Now you'll see what the EA actually does, because it only takes a trade when the parabolic SAR has given a signal to trade that reversal. As you can see now, it's just taken it's a trade because it's broken below the liquidity level here, and then the parabolic SAR here has given us an entry. But as you can see, it sets a limit order at 50% of the trigger candle. So this is a really small trigger candle, but it's set it at 50% of this overall length of this candle. And we'll just see if we get tagged into this one. As you can see, price drops, then we get tagged in. The pending order will also cancel if it hasn't triggered within a certain amount of candles. So it will cancel. I think my one's set on 7 candles, 5 or 7 candles. So you can see it's in the trade at the moment. The profit and loss is fluctuating here. Now, as you can see, the account has gone into a little bit of drawdown, but it ends up on $1,650 by the end of this back test. Now, as I said, it's got a trailing stop built in. It's got its stop loss set. It's got a take profit set, but it's got a trailing stop built in. So it trails as price moves up. It'll move the stop loss to break even, and it'll trail the stop loss into profit. We'll just speed it along here. You'll see now that the stop loss is moving. As you can see, it's moving it into profit. Now, it does it all by itself. You don't have to touch this thing. It does it all by itself. Now, I think this was quite a big winning trade. As you can see, price is moving. Stop loss is moving into profit. As you can see, quite a big winner. We're already making over 100 bucks in this trade. The price, it only takes, the benefit of this as well, I've coded it so that it only takes 1 trade per level, per liquidity level. So if another liquidity level builds up, it won't take a trade on that level. It only takes 1 trade at a time, regardless of the levels that are being created. Okay, so you can see over there that was about $100 and something trade. Now, if we speed it along, I'll take you to the 23rd of February, which was also a nice winner. But as you can see here, there we go again. It broke liquidity. So it traded above this liquidity zone, and then it enters after the parabolic SAR changes, gives it the entry. But you can see it set a limit order at 30% of this candle. Because if we go to the settings here, you can see that the retracement level set at 30%. What that means is it sets the limit order 30% towards the beginning of the retracement candle that was the trigger of the parabolic SAR, the first dot on the parabolic SAR. But it will expire, so this pending order will expire, I think, after, based on these settings, it will expire after 5 candles. So if the limit order hasn't been hit 5 candles after the price has moved, it'll cancel that limit order. So we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the beginning of this, the end of this candle, it should disappear, that limit order. There we go. You see it disappeared. So now let's see. Let's just I'll take you to the 23rd of February, which was a nice winner. Oh yeah. Okay, so this was one that it took here. But you didn't see that one, but you didn't see the entry, but you'll see how nicely it trails the stop into profit. Bang, nice winner over there. As you can see over here, the same thing for the buy side. It hit this liquidity level, broke below the liquidity level, and now it's taken an entry based on the parabolic SAR. It's already triggered that limit order. And we'll just see what this trade does. It might have been a break even or a little small loss. We'll just see. See how the stop loss is trailing. Okay, so that was a small winner. So this is the 25th of February. Take you to the 27th. We'll just let price play along here. Okay, so here it's taken a buy. Why did it take a buy? Because price broke below this bottom line, liquidity. Okay, then the entry is based on the parabolic SAR. And our price is going to play along. As you can see, if we do this, we can see the take profit's also set. Sometimes it'll hit the take profit, but most of the time it'll hit the trailing stop function. We'll just play it along. So price starts to move up. As you can see, it starts to trail as price moves into profit. And so that was a loss, but I think this next one is a nice winner. This was actually the nice winner over here. Same thing here, price breaks liquidity, entry based on the parabolic SAR. As price moves up, you'll see that it trails the stop. The take profit is up there. We'll just play this along slowly. As you can see, so it's trailing the stop loss. So you don't actually need, with your EAs, you don't really need a break-even feature. All you need is a trailing stop, so that once price reaches a certain level in profit, it already moves the stop into above your price entry. So bang, you can see that one there hit the take profit because the market gapped. And you can see we've gone from 1,000 to 1,100, sorry, to 1,274. So I'll just speed this up a little bit. I'll take you to the 17th of March, which was a nice winner. But just watch the equity as we go here. You can see how the equity is climbing. It's taking wins and losses, because remember, no strategy is perfect, so it will take wins and losses. But as you can see, the equity does climb. So this is the 17th of March. Yes, it's taken this sell. There was a liquidity line above here, but now the liquidity line's moved, but the liquidity line will still move, but the trade is based on the liquidity line at the time of the entry. It's based on that liquidity line. As you can see, it's trailing that stop beautifully, trailing that stop as price moves into profit. And that was a full winner over there. So you can see we've really jumped now to $1,500 in just over a month and a half of trading. I'll just show you guys the final trade on the 13th of April. You'll see the account still grows. Okay, so here's an entry over here. So price just broke below this liquidity level over here, it looks like. And based upon the parabolic side, took its entry, got its take profit up here, it's got its stop loss over here. Now you'll see that it starts to trail the stop. Beautiful, beautiful trade over there. It's just taken another one on the 14th, but that was cancelled because the limit order didn't get triggered within 5 candles. Okay, so as you can see, it grew the account to $1,600. Now, if you do an optimization, you can see my optimization results have given me. So if you do an optimization on your EA, all you have to do here is come here to fast generic based algorithm, every tick, or the best one here to use is every tick based on real ticks. But for a quick gauge on if your EA is actually going to be profitable or not, you can just do a quick one based on every tick. You can either do the slow complete algorithm or fast generic one. But these are the optimization results it gave me over the past 3 months. So I'm using the one of these down over here. If you look at my inputs, so the optimization's given me these settings over here. So I've used one that made, what was it, $657. So I think it was, I think I'm using this one here. Yeah, that's the one I'm using. So if you build an EA and you need to get settings for it and you're not sure what settings to use on it, because a lot of people use EAs but they don't run it through an optimization to get the correct settings or to get a basket of settings that may be profitable. So all you need to do is you can run an optimization and you can click on start over here. Then you can set, you can come in here and set like values that you want the EA to run through. I mean, the optimization to run through to give you those exact settings. So as you can see over here, I've got a pivot length. I'm telling the optimization to look at in between a 14 and a 50. The retracement percentage of the candle between 10% and 50%. The parabolic saw, it's obviously given me a setting of 0.1 and 2, but it's looking at 0.01 and 0.02 on the step, and on the maximum is looking at 0.2 up till 3. It's looking at what the best size stop loss is, so it's looking at between 2,500 points and 7,500 points. If you're unaware of how to use an optimization on MetaTrader 5 or MetaTrader 4, you can just go onto YouTube and watch some videos on how to actually optimize your EA, so you can get these just to see how the step works and all of that, because it's basically, you look at this one here, it's starting on 2.5 and it's going in increments of 250 up until 7,500. You can actually set these yourself. So this is giving me the ideal stop loss to use, the ideal take profit, the ideal trailing trigger, ideal. It's going through all these settings and different increments to give me the best setting. You can see on my optimization here, which is this one that I ended up using, it's given me the pivot length of 30. It's given me expiration on the candle 5. It's given me the parabolic SAR settings to use. It's given me the stop loss to use, take profit, trailing, or the trailing settings. And all you have to do is if you want to visually test one of these settings, you just right click on it and run a single test. But then you'll have to disable the optimization and have it set on visual mode. Now if you right click here, yeah, you just this optimization was run before, and then I closed the strategy test and brought it back up, so it's not allowing me to run a single test. But once you've done your optimization and then you right click on one of these settings, you can run a single test, and then if you're happy with the settings, it'll put all the settings in here, and you can run a visual test or just a test without visual mode. And then what you can do is you can right click and save these settings. You can save them, and then you can actually use it on your EA when you put it on a chart. You can run them on demo for a while and see if they're actually working, and then put it on a live account if they've worked well in a demo. So I hope this video gave you some insight into what you can do building your own EAs. This is a pretty cool EA. I am working on a parabolic SAR EA by itself. I'm working on a divergence EA. I'm working on a high frequency scalper. I'm working on several EAs, but I just really wanted to build this one because it's a pretty cool EA visually, and it's kind of like the way that I like to trade. Also, if you guys have any ideas for me for better entry criteria, you can give me suggestions. You can give me suggestions in the comments, and maybe I can change the entry criteria to, instead of using a parabolic SAR, we can use something else. Maybe something maybe gives you an earlier entry, something a bit more accurate. But as you can see, the optimization gave me the optimal settings for the actual parabolic SAR to use a 0.01 and a 2. So I'll catch you in future videos to update you on the EA settings and any changes and how it's running on demo and live account. And yeah, look forward to posting more videos, and it's just better to automate your strategy, I feel. It takes the emotions out of the market, and because all these inputs are just basically followed, they're not, the robot just follows inputs, and then that's the difference between a human being and a robot. That's why robots can be really more consistent than humans in trading, because we're all over the place with our risk, with our strategy, with our psychology, if we're trading the markets manually. Anyway, guys, peace. Catch you in the next one. Have a good week.